The Nazi Party emerged from the ashes of a defeated Germany. After World War I, Germany faced economic hardship and political instability. The Treaty of Versailles, which ended the war, placed harsh penalties on Germany. These penalties included territorial losses and heavy financial reparations. This created resentment and a desire for national revival among many Germans. The Nazis, led by Adolf Hitler, exploited this discontent. They promised to restore German pride and power. Hitler was a captivating speaker. He appealed to people's fears and prejudices. He blamed Jews and other minorities for Germany's problems. His message of hate and nationalism resonated with a growing number of Germans. The Nazis gained popularity through propaganda and intimidation. They used rallies, posters, and radio broadcasts to spread their message. They also used violence against their opponents. The SA, the party's paramilitary wing, terrorized political rivals and minorities. In 1933, the Nazis achieved their goal of seizing power. The economic depression of the early 1930s had further weakened the Weimar Republic. In January 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. He quickly moved to consolidate his power. He outlawed other political parties and established a totalitarian state. The Nazi regime was one of terror and brutality. Hitler and his followers established a dictatorship. They abolished civil liberties and ruled through fear and intimidation. The Gestapo, the secret police, became a symbol of Nazi oppression. They arrested and imprisoned anyone suspected of opposing the regime. The Nazis targeted specific groups with systematic persecution. Jews were the primary victims of Nazi hatred. The Nazis subjected Jews to discriminatory laws, violence, and ultimately genocide. Millions of Jews were murdered in the Holocaust. The systematic extermination of European Jews. Other groups also suffered under Nazi rule. Political opponents, Roma and Sinti, gay men, and people with disabilities were persecuted. They were imprisoned in concentration camps, subjected to forced labor, and murdered. The Nazis sought to create a racially pure society, eliminating anyone deemed undesirable. The Nazi regime plunged the world into war. In 1939, Germany invaded Poland, marking the beginning of World War II. The war was a global catastrophe, resulting in the deaths of millions. The Nazis' atrocities during the war, including the Holocaust, are among the darkest chapters in human history. Germany's defeat in 1945 marked the end of the Nazi regime. The country lay in ruins, both physically and morally. The Allies, who had defeated Germany, were determined to prevent a resurgence of Nazism. They oversaw a process of denazification, removing Nazis from positions of power and bringing them to justice for war crimes. Germany faced the daunting task of rebuilding and confronting its Nazi past. The country grappled with the legacy of Nazi crimes and the collective guilt of its citizens. The government implemented educational programs to teach future generations about the dangers of totalitarian ideologies. Memorials and museums were erected to commemorate the victims of Nazi persecution. The process of coming to terms with the past was long and painful. Germany engaged in public debates and discussions about its history. It acknowledged its responsibility for the crimes committed in its name. The country made reparations to victims and their families. Through these efforts, Germany sought to atone for its past and build a more democratic and tolerant society. Despite these efforts, the legacy of Nazism continues to cast a shadow over the present. Historical revisionism, the distortion or denial of historical facts, poses a threat to the memory of Nazi crimes. Some individuals and groups seek to minimize the horrors of the Holocaust or deny its existence altogether. The internet and social media have become breeding grounds for hate speech and Holocaust denial. Extremist groups exploit these platforms to spread their propaganda and recruit new followers. The rise of populism and nationalism in some countries has also contributed to a resurgence of xenophobia and anti-Semitism. It is crucial to combat historical revisionism and preserve the memory of Nazi crimes. Education plays a vital role in this endeavor. By teaching future generations about the dangers of intolerance and hatred, we can help prevent history from repeating itself. It is also essential to counter hate speech and propaganda whenever and wherever it appears. By remembering the past and learning from its mistakes, we can work towards a future free from the scourge of Nazism.